welcome back to Unbox with Jo, where we talk stories off the cuff on topics we don't run away from. The podcast where we unpack real stories from real people. Whether you're tuning in from work, at home, or abroad, or even during your commute, I'm so glad you're here. Today, we're joined by an inspiring Wahine, Maile Kamisugi, founder of Ulu and Kalo Bakery in Honolulu. Born and raised in Hawaii, Miley studied in Oregon and in Australia before coming home in 2008 to launch her bakery, blending native Kano plants like ulu or breadfruit and kalo or taro into gluten-free plant-based goods. We'll explore her journey from island girl to food entrepreneur and how she's revitalizing traditional Hawaiian cuisine all while empowering our community through health, sustainability, and a lot of aloha. Welcome to the show, Miley.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. We'll start off with your early life and roots. Can you share what it is like growing up in Hawaii and how food traditions shape your childhood?
I definitely didn't appreciate, the food here until I left home. But when I was growing up, my favorite food was rice. So that explains like how adventurous of an eater I was. Like a lot of, I mean, it's a huge melting pot of culture. And so growing up, there was all kinds of food, all the ethnicities, Chinese, Japanese, Filipino, and Hawaiian. Yeah, so I feel like I just always had an abundance of different types of food, but I wasn't very healthy back then growing up. That was after I came back from college. I actually didn't really like poi growing up at all, and then didn't even know about ulu. So when I came back home and was introduced to it, I was like, wow, this is amazing, and I never ate it or even knew about it. So how is it that I grew up here and wasn't even in tune with what was being grown on island? So it showed me that disconnect that I had, and um, of course, through food, you can reconnect yourself to culture and place. So yeah, just rediscovering what was here, and also Ulu and Kalo are just so healthy that when I came back, I was also very more mindful about health and nutrition, that it kind of was like a big eye opener. Like, this is way more healthy than rice, as far as like how much your body will benefit from it. So it was intertwined from back when I first tried it. I was like, this has to be what I do and perpetuate over here.
On How did the local culture and the land influence your culinary identity?
Just having my eyes open to what all is grown here and being able to experiment with different produce that farmers grow, or like, I mean, just the value of kalo, right? It takes like 9 months to grow, and the quality is very different between each farmer. So you have to know where you're getting your kalo from. I mean, ulu too, like, there's definitely better practices when you're growing it. Just being more aware of where I'm getting things from, who's growing it, and like appreciating the crop itself so that none goes to waste, or figuring out how to use every part of it.
Tell us about your time in Oregon and in Australia. What did you study and how your worldview expanded while away?
Mm. And when I was at University or Oregon, I was at University of Portland, and that was kind of where I got a little crazy with pizza and soda in my first few years of college. And um, when I went to study abroad in Australia, that's when I got into trying to be more healthy and active, because I got into the late night. late eating, mindset of studying and all that other stuff. So I went away and it kind of gave me the space to clear my mind and like bring back my active lifestyle, which I was very active in high school playing sports. So I wanted to get back into that kind of shape and mindset. And then when I was away, I was able to successfully get back into being active, and it was really refreshing. But then I learned how much food impacts your health too, right? It was kind of obvious, like should know that already, but it's hard when you just forget about how the basic things of life work, right? Like food is health. So I was like, well, I don't know how to cook, so maybe I should go to culinary school because it seemed natural that if you want to eat healthy, you need to learn how to cook. After coming back to Portland for my senior year, I already knew that I didn't want to go into finance, and I decided to enroll in culinary school. But yeah, I think going to those two places, like Portland is a huge food hub, so is Australia, like Sydney. So I always enjoyed eating new foods and trying new things. And when I was in Portland for senior year, I was living in a home, so it gave me the perfect space to like kind of cook my own little things. And I would make pizza that was made out of almond flour and eggs instead of like wheat flour. So yeah, it was kind of like a experimenting year. Yeah.
How did working in food service or health sector during your school shape your approach to baking and entrepreneurship?
I started working at Kokua Market, which is a health food store, and that was very chill. You know, you could kind of make your own dishes or like you had freedom with that. And then I went to work at the Nook, which was in actually pretty close to Kokua Market, but also in university area, and was pretty much like a prep cook where I learned more sauces and did vegetable cuttings, like prep chicken and stuff like that. But that was very introductory. And then I went to FET from the Nook, and that was where I really got interested in the baking side of things, and also where I learned that I wasn't a very good line cook. So I would say learning the different parts of a kitchen was really valuable while working in food establishments. And then I went to Australia and worked in a cafe where I was doing like sandwich prep and would bake the muffins and prep all the doughs for like the baked goods. Each place had their own little personalities, and I gathered little things from each place.
I must agree with you. Not everybody is for line work in the kitchen. Working in the
Hmm.
line, you need to really be like on top of everything, last page. You need to make sure that your station is always stocked up. Always make sure that you don't break down in the middle of service, especially on the weekend. So I am not a kudos to all the people that been working in the line station for decades. Because I have
Hmm.
actually cooks. I'm just surprised that they've been doing the same craft for 10, 15, 20 years. These people can handle pressure more than I can.
Yep, yep.
Like you're right. Like when you enter the world of culinary, a lot of people like just think that culinary is just for cooking. No, there's a lot of sectors and departments where you actually have to learn each and every one of them. For example, like the line. In the line, there's different kind of area, which is saute, grill, pantry, dessert, even dishwashing. There's a lot of
Hmm.
things you have to learn in dishwashing, especially pastry, which is me and pastry is like sun and moon. That's why I'm always a fan of your baked goods because I wish it's a skill that I wish that I have, but I'm not blessed like the way you're blessed with your skills,
You are skilled as a baker.
but not as skilled as you. Come on now. I think I just don't have patience for baked goods more than you do. Like for me, I'm more of a savory chef where just put me in cooking, entrees, and let Miley handle the baking.
That's why we're a good team.
Yeah, I know. We balance each other. While you were abroad, were there key experiences or mentors abroad that inspired you to return home?
The funny story about my time over there, it was kind of cut short because my hands got really inflamed
Hmm.
and it was just more of like a health issue that I had to come back. But I knew that I wanted to come back and we only had a year long visa there and I only spent 6 months, so half the time. So I would have liked to spend more time there, but it was always just going to be a temporary thing and one last little getaway before starting my own thing, which really ties you down. But the chef there he had like a lot of experience and wealth of knowledge to learn from. And then the other chefs that were working there worked from different parts of the world too. Yeah, it was interesting just being in that kitchen with people from, everyone was from a different country actually. So that was different than working in kitchens here because usually everyone's either from, most are from here, the continent.
It's nice to see other nations that you can work with. It creates more of the diversity part of the workforce. And at the same time, you can also learn something about their culture that you can actually use in your daily life.
Mhm.
So, what inspired you to launch Ulu and Kalo Bakery in 2018?
Well, I came back from Australia in 2017 and then was in a little bit of a mental rut because I was mentally ready to stay there for a year, but we came back in May and we're supposed to stay until November. So I was kind of like lost for a bit. And
Mm,
previously, where I worked in the kitchens, my hands would always have issues, like they would get cut up and inflamed and react to whatever I was working on, and maybe the stress was also kind of a bit too much. So at that point, my parents were like, "What are you doing? You gotta start your own thing already." Even though I felt like I needed more time to learn because it was only from ending culinary school, it was pretty much only a 2 year, yeah, 2 to 3 years that I was working elsewhere. So it felt like I needed more experience, but then also I knew what I wanted to do. There wasn't really much places that I could get experience from here. So I figured, well, I might as well go for it and um, figure things out along the way and just kind of believe that I have what it takes to do what I want to do. So yeah, that was kind of why the reasoning for starting in 2018. And yeah, I was glad that I started it then because, of course, COVID was 2020. So it kind of gave me a little bit of time to get the awkward early stages of the business figured out. And then I had time during COVID to adjust and take time to sit and be like, what's working, what's not. And then
mhm.
came out. It was all in a good timeline.
What was your aha moment when you realized there was a healthful gluten-free niche for Ulu and Kalo treats?
It was actually when I came back from college because I was like, I'm like a healthy person now and I want to eat something sweet, but there wasn't anything that I would approve of. And at that time, I was more strict with my diet, so very gluten-free, very no sugar, but or no cane sugar at least, I should say. And so that was kind of when I was like, this could definitely benefit the community to have more options for people who are a little bit are more interested in and conscious about what they put in their bodies. Since then, though, I mean, there has been like more conscious sweets that are around and available, which is nice because when I don't want to have to cook, at least there's something else out there.
Did you have any allergy in gluten, or you just chose to actually eat healthier during this point of your life?
I don't have any serious allergies to anything, so that it was all up, my choice to eliminate these things. But when I did eliminate sugar, dairy, and wheat, that was in my senior year of college. My grades got better. I had so much more energy. I wasn't falling asleep in class. It was like kind of like a night and day
Mm,
experience. I think since it happened, it was just like so profound that, and it was like my own personal experience versus hearing it from someone else. It really like kind of set in stone how important it was for me to avoid certain things or to limit. And especially with family history, having diabetes and
mm,
health issues that are genetically inclined to happen to me. It's like you got to be cautious and you have to start thinking about what you're eating at an early age so that you're prepared at least like doing the most you can to prevent illnesses later on.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree. I totally agree with you. Prevention is better than cure when it comes to health. If you know that
Hmm.
you have a history of diabetes or hypertension or high cholesterol, it is better to actually start from what you um, put inside your body. I wish that I can practice what I preach right now, because sometimes we just love carbs. We just love food that's not good for our health. But it's not bad to indulge here and there, but
Hmm.
not to do it on a daily basis. You actually have to have a daily or like a weekly meal that you have. For example, you can eat healthy for like 5 6 days, and you can have one cheat day. There's nothing wrong with that, but
Yeah.
you cannot have 5 or 6 cheat days and like one day of eating healthy, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta enjoy every now and then.
Yeah.
C'est la vie.
Yeah, c'est la vie. Especially when you're in Italy. I just remember all the things we ate during your guys'
Yeah.
vacation here. Ah,
Yeah. When in
yeah,
Italy.
but you want to, but the thing is, like, even though we're eating that much, we were walking nonstop.
Hmm.
We were burning
Yeah.
it. So, and
Yeah.
we're drinking
Yeah. And just like
sprudel wasa.
their gluten, what they use to make their pasta and everything is different than here or in the
Mm.
US just kind of contaminates everything with GMO. But I never had any weird reactions. Like I am kind of sensitive to certain forms of wheat and gluten. Like sometimes I'll eat a sandwich and feel like knocked out. Like I'll just need to take a
Hmm.
nap and like get a headache. But yeah, over there it was like you felt fine the whole time.
Yes. And I think that's one of the things that I appreciate living here in Europe is that when you see food in the grocery store, there's like a nutrition label or category between A to E. And it is what it is. For example, if you're getting a spinach and banana smoothie, it's actually just spinach and banana in there. Or and no other preservatives whatsoever. You barely
Hmm.
see any high fructose corn syrup in the
Hmm.
food here. So it's actually very, very old school in a very good way, which I appreciate a lot, and I know you do too.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. They need to implement that graphic here like that, because I think if people really saw what grade their food that they were eating was, maybe they would be like, huh?
Uh-huh, definitely. I actually want to share this. When I went to see my sister last March. I gained significant amount of weight going back here because of all the preservatives I have to eat while I was there in the US for 2 weeks. I didn't really realize how much preservatives food has over there, even with the bread. Like you've tasted bread over here and it's super organic and bio, the bio term. Where when you see bread in majority of the stores in the US, there's so much chemicals that like sometimes you feel bad for your body already taking it. And
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing that our bodies can even process what is in the food these days. Like it's normal, like it's used to it by now.
that's why I truly admire the products that you put out to the community because it's very well thought of and it's not something that will destroy their health but will nourish it even more. So Mai, did you face any challenges on the path from idea to opening your bakery?
Yeah, definite, imposter syndrome kind of stuff. Like we all have that in some way. I feel like just like how I thought I wanted more experience, but here we are. It all worked out. And there's always a lot of personal growth with starting a business. I got a loan from my parents, so that's how I was able to financially start the business and was able to repay that. So I think it's just nice to have people who believe in you. A lot of not knowing where you're going, but just hoping that what you're doing is going to get you to the right place. So a lot of uncertainty and believing that it's going to go somewhere well, like somewhere that's going to lead you somewhere else that's going to take you to the right way.
What makes Ulu and Kalo Bakery unique?
Well, aside from using all the Ulu and Kalo, we I think it's just like the intention that we put behind it, and it's all small batch still. It's pretty much made fresh every week. Yeah, we just have a lot of good vibes that we put into everything too.
Your guests' favorites and top sellers are the banana and ulu bread and the Kalo brownies. And also my favorite too. What do customers love most and why?
I would say the banana ulu bread is probably the top product because we wholesale that to actually all the cafes, all the accounts that I have, except for Big Island, but that's because it's tricky to ship. But all the accounts have the banana bread, and it's a product that everyone grew up eating, or everyone loves. I want to say everyone, but like, of course, there's people who don't, but most people are so comfortable with banana bread. So to throw the ulu in there, the ulu flour, it adds a lot of fiber. And actually, ulu is a complete protein in itself. So it does add protein. The almond flour in the bread is protein. Uh, so it's a pretty nutritionally dense product. And I'm glad that everyone is just eating it up because it's way more beneficial than just eating the regular kind of banana bread that's out there. You won't be hungry after one slice. You'll be like, okay, I'm like good to go. Got my coffee, bread.
I can definitely attest to that. One slice of that ulu and banana bread is pretty much an energy boost through the whole entire day for me, especially when you make French toast out of it.
Mm,
We'll put some of those butter because butter makes
yeah.
everything better. So, my, how precisely do you approach your baking process? Is it scientific or intuitive?
I feel like I'm a pretty lax baker where I don't follow everything to the exact gram or ounce all the time because when I make my recipes and sometimes it just depends if the bananas are a little bit more ripe or not. But I'm like, well, it's okay if the maple is like less, a little bit less this round. I think that's just because I'm comfortable with my judgment. I know that I have good judgment on these things. And when I make new recipes, I look at other recipes that are online and I look at the pictures of how those baked goods came out. And I'll look at for the one with the best picture or the one with the best look that I like for how I want the baked good to turn out. And then from there, I'll edit the recipe. And I feel like I've kind of got, I don't know, a sixth sense on how to rework a recipe because the last few experiments have been pretty good. I'm like, oh wow, that's actually not bad. First time. And I'll substitute some of the flour for ulu flour or kalo flour. And I'll change out the sugar from regular sugar to coconut sugar, change the egg from real egg to egg replacer. So yeah, it's kind of a fun game to just kind of, I'll like think of in my head, I'll feel like, oh, like this number feels right. Like it kind of just is like it's a guess, but also like a feeling.
And when you say sixth sense, I think that's when your baked goods become more of like a personal project because you have an intention on actually making it more beneficial for your consumers, right?
Hmm.
So, how do you source your ulu and kalo from community harvest farmers like Daniel Bishop in Unaluu?
Yeah.
What's what's that network like?
I've been grateful that I had, you know, made the connections with Daniel Bishop. He's been able to supply the kalo that I need, or if not, he'll like refer me to other farmers that are nearby. So it's, it's not like they're not competitive or it's like that's my client. You can't help her, but it's all about like, making sure that everyone gets what they need and the community is taken care of. For the ulu flour, I source it from the ulu co-op. They make ulu flour. And then I also source ulu from around the neighborhood, whoever needs help using them up, and I'll harvest them and then turn it into flour. Yeah, so all the ulu that I get is usually harvested by me for like harvested and then turned into flour. So like I do the whole shebang.
I do remember you have a breadfruit tree on your backyard.
Hmm. Yeah, she's healthy. She's doing good.
Say hello from me.
I will.
That's really nice that you also have an ulu tree in your backyard. It also gives you a perspective on how your own product, your own breadfruit is actually grown on your side, not just from your source, but okay, this is the reason why it's not as easy to produce because it takes this long and I have it and I'm seeing it in my own eyes.
Hmm.
So I was actually surprised when you went to your backyard that one time and just grab some ulo. This is good. Yeah, but tree over here, really nice. So, what role does your bakery play within the broader food entrepreneur community in Honolulu?
I just hope that inspires other people to use Ulu and Kalo in cooking and not be afraid of what you can do with them because I think a lot of times people will be like, oh, it's like too much work to process or um, they're like, I don't know how it will turn out, so I don't want to mess with it. I think it's just like cooking should be fun and creative. It wasn't traditionally used to make baked goods with Ulu and Kalo, but I kind of took that and brought them out of the box because I am a big sweet tooth and Ulu and Kalo are what I wanted to use in my business, so it all came together organically. There's more than you can do with Kalo and Ulu than just the traditional. methods, but those are also very healthy and beneficial too. Being more creative and have fun. Don't let them go to waste.
That's very important. Don't let them go to waste. Why do you believe revitalizing canoe plant is important culturally, nutritionally, and for sustainability?
Definitely for cultural reasons. Ulu and Kalo are one of the few, or I guess more than few, but canoe plants that sustained Polynesian voyagers when they came to Hawaii. So they were able to survive and thrive off of Ulu and Kalo when they first came. I believe that's what will help people today reconnect to their own health and allow them to thrive. Because we have, as a community or like nowadays, health is kind of the last thing that people think about. It's more like a side note. Connecting to culture through food is a big one. Yeah, I think just making sure that people who are born and raised here, or people who live here, they know what ulu is, what kalo is. They're making it accessible for everyone to eat them, to enjoy them. Just making sure that what we have growing here isn't lost or isn't wasted so that everyone knows that the dependency of imports here is a problem. Instead of focusing on reducing the imports, we also have to focus on using everything that is grown here and figuring out ways to reduce waste. And one of those ways is using it in baking, making flour with it.
You truly gotta love your own. And we just want
Mhm.
to emphasize some of our listeners probably is not familiar of the canoe plants. Go ahead, Maya, explain it again.
Around the Polynesian countries, they originally traveled from the other parts of Polynesia to get to Hawaii, and they used the canoes or va'a to come here. They used star navigation, so they brought canoe plants, which were like ulu, kalo, and niu, which is coconut, on the canoe from other parts of Polynesia when they came to voyage to other new lands, because that's what would sustain the community when they arrived at a new place. So very intentional plants.
Very delicious too as well. And
Hmm.
just like what you mentioned, Miley, I really hope even the younger generation sees the importance of the canoe plant and how significant it is to their history and to their culture. And you're very right. We need to sustain something that comes from the land instead
Hmm.
of importing things that is not growing within Mauka or the Makai.
Hmm.
I don't think a lot of people are aware of this, but living in Hawaii, you have to think about the prices too as well. Like importing these goods will cost money, and instead of paying these big companies for your food and for your products, why can't you just make it in your own community and you and the community itself will profit?
Hmm. Yeah.
I just remember when I used to work in the kitchen, in the corporate kitchen over there, where we have to source a lot of things outside the island and how expensive it is. And all I can think about is if we just have enough sources or enough farmers or enough land to actually produce these products, we're not going to have to wait 2 weeks for these products to get here.
And it's more nutritious for everyone to eat what's grown locally.
Definitely. Hi, as the female founder of a mission driven brand, what has been the most empowering part of your journey?
Mhm. I do think it's self growth and personal development, confidence. You got to be strong and know who you are to run your own business and be confident. Of course, have the grace and gentleness that comes along with being a woman. I think you can be strong, but also sweet but strong.
What advice would you give others aspiring food entrepreneurs, especially women or health focused founders?
I would say just start or just do it. Like don't overthink. Everything is figure outable. You can do things without having a degree, without going to culinary school. You don't need to have this and that, but because for me, I'm the kind of person that I would like to have background schooling on something before I get into it, but that's just me. Like, there's a lot of people who are successful without having any schooling behind them. So it's just all about letting yourself trust that you are good enough and you are able to do whatever you want to. Hmm.
What are your hopes for the future of Ulu and Kalo Bakery and for the indigenous food in Hawaii?
I definitely hope that I can continue to grow while keeping creativity going. I think I still need to find just the right combination of things to really get the business up to the next level. Always just trying to make it so that whatever I'm doing is very efficient and not spinning my wheels in circles, trying to find the right balance of work life too, making sure that as a person, I'm able to have fun and have a life, not just all business. And for the future of indigenous food crops, I just keep the momentum going of more places using them, creating more demand so that there's more need for supply and farmers can keep growing more. There's more land, more farmers, the whole works.
Beautiful. If you could go back and speak to your 5-year old self, what would you say to her?
I would say try ulu. Rice is nice, but ulu is better. And I don't think she would have believed that, but we can try.
You want to start young, Miley? Start him young.
Yes, yeah.
But I'm pretty sure she's not going to listen.
Yeah, yeah. I am you're the ram, so very stubborn.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, with the Japanese genes, I would think that rice is absorbed better because I got the genetics for it, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Before we move to the next question, do you find eating rice and natto appetizing?
I like natto. Yeah, right. Rice and natto.
With egg yolk
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
and shoyu.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but see,
I don't
then
know.
you could add in little pieces of cubed steam with the rice because I must say, like, rice does have a place on the table for sure, but like integrating it with ulu and the not rice and poke, definitely like the combo. Just adding a little bit of ulu in some form or kalo, like, yeah,
Yeah. Especially with people that has Asian genes in them, like you mentioned, like us. Sometimes you cannot just say no to rice, but you can make the rice healthier. You can
yeah.
still have
Mm-hmm.
your carb fill while you're adding protein or even some lentil seeds, some
Mm-hmm.
turmeric on your rice before you actually cook it. I'm actually doing rice with flaxseed and
Mm,
turmeric when I cook it. It's actually pretty delicious. I
that's
can still feel
interesting.
like it looks like
Yeah,
a Java rice, but like healthier.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, you can experiment like that. You can always add something to your rice, your white rice. If you cannot
Mm-hmm.
totally let go of your white rice, just make it a little bit healthier. Like what Miley said, add a little bit of ulu in there. You can add some nuts,
Mm-hmm.
some flaxseed, some herbs, some spices to
Mm-hmm.
actually make it a little bit better. And yes, I really like it. Turmeric, flaxseed on my rice. So, Miley, if there's a mirror in front of you right now, what do you want to tell your current self? It's kind of like,
I will say to myself, everything is gonna be all right. No worries. Be
about a
scary.
thing, because every little thing's gotta be alright.
Yeah.
What is your message to Mocha?
Don't you worry, little kitty cat. More fish is coming for dinner.
And shrimp treats.
Yeah. Well, now she's got her quail egg yolks.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty bougie.
Dang, where do you get those?
It's the same company that makes the dried shrimp, but you gotta switch it up.
Your cat's food is bougier than your food, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah, and the egg yolks, they used to be circles, but now they're
Yeah.
squares. So I'm like, wow, they take the time to cut the egg yolk into a square.
Is it is it dry or is it in a packet where you have to refrigerate it?
No, it's like shelf stable.
Really?
Yeah, freeze dried. Hmm.
Wow. Good for
Hmm.
you, Mocha. Okay. Well, Miley, and finally, my
Hmm.
final question to you. What is one thing you've unboxed in your life? A truth, a lesson, or a realization? And why does it matter to you?
I would say that you are you are good enough, and it matters a lot because I think there's so much that you can doubt about yourself, and then that can be very crippling and it prevent you from doing things that you love, or self-growth will come from doing things that are uncomfortable, but doing things that are uncomfortable will come when you believe in yourself enough to do that thing. Yeah. Yep, you are worthy.
You are beautiful, you are worthy, and everybody can just suck it. Life is so. Miley, thank you so much for allowing me to share a part of your story. Mahalo nui aloha for this wonderful opportunity to getting to know you even more.
Thank you for having me. It's always
And
fun talking.
always a pleasure talking to you. And it's been such a joy hearing your journey from Hawaii roots to worldly studies and now nourishing our community with Ulu and Kalo. Your dedication to health, sustainability, cultural resurgence is truly inspiring. For our listeners who'd like to support Miley, order from Ulu and Kalo Bakery online or catch her at Po'oai Cafe in Chinatown and every Saturday at Kakaako Farmers Market in Honolulu. You can also find her wholesome treats like banana and ulu bread or kalo brownies and all gluten free and plant-based items. So check it out. It's very it's very ono is delicious. Okay? Until next time, keep honoring the land, your roots and the health of your community. This is Unboxed with Joe. Until next time, keep showing up, keep unboxing, and keep growing, and keep being the real you. Ahui ho. Thank you, Miley.